NHL Breakaway is the NHL's digital collectible offering, selling digital-first hockey card-like collectibles where you can collect highlights of your favorite players. Now, this video isn't going to talk about the legitimacy or the value of digital collectibles. Instead, I just want to focus on the aspects of NHL Breakaway that I personally find exciting and that I like to nerd out about as a collector. This includes a lot of the things that aren't made super clear on the website, things like the different pack drops, the different rarity tiers, and the highlights and what they mean, some of the niche things that I think collectors will be looking for if they want to collect these items in the future. First, let's talk about the packs. So far, the company that operates NHL Breakaway in partnership with the NHL, the NHLPA, and the NHL Alumni Association, well, they've released packs in two different sizes, packs that include 3 unique highlights and packs that include 5 unique highlights. The packs that have 3 highlights are considered base packs, and they're largely featuring the more common highlights with a smaller chance of getting an extra rare card, but they're also priced quite a bit lower than the other packs. Now, as for these 5 highlight packs, well, so far, each of these has contained a guaranteed rarer highlight than at least the common level, as well as 3 additional common highlights, as well as a slightly higher chance at an additional rarer highlight. And these packs are priced quite a bit higher, largely because they guarantee that you're going to get a card of rarity that is higher than the common or core rarity. But now I've sort of gone over these packs, let's talk about those rarities themselves. Right now on NHL Breakaway's website, they say that there are 6 different rarity tiers. Now, right now, in reality, in practice, there's only 4 rarity tiers that have any cards that have been released in them, but we'll get to that in a moment. We'll go through each of these tiers and the maximum edition sizes, although there is a little bit of a caveat that we're going to go over when it comes to these edition sizes, but I'll go over that after we talk about these 4 active rarity tiers. Core is the most common rarity, and you're going to guaranteed get 2 of these core cards, the common rarity cards, in those base packs, with the chance of the third one either being another core or some more rare card. And in those 5 card packs, 3 of them are going to be of this core rarity tier. And all of these different tiers relate to how many of these highlights are released and are able to be collected by fans. Here we can see that they say 3,000 to 5,000 core rarity tiers are released per sort of set that's released. However, with this first drop, the beta drop, it seems that they've sort of limited this to 1,500, at least for the first edition of this first set drop. We'll get into the specifics of that in a second. The next tier up is the limited rarity tier, and it seems like this rarity tier has so far been reserved for special thematic releases. As an example, they just released a set called The Hunt for Stanley that features a bunch of clips from the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs, and it was all clips from that. So this limited tier seems like it's going to be reserved for those types of thematic releases. And the tier above that is called Rare. Of course, it comes with a different edition size. Here it's listed as 500 for this base set. It seems like it's been 250 has been the number that they've reduced it down to. And so far, Rare has been used specifically for the sort of rookie cards of NHL Breakaway. It's a set called Opening Ice. It features all of the first goals of a number of different players who were rookies this season. And again, right now they've printed 250 of each of these rookie highlights. And then we go 1 tier up to the rarest tier that actually has cards actively released for it at this point, and that is the epic tier. This is reserved for special highlights, it seems. Again, it's listed here, maximum edition size of 200, but in reality, it's only 100 at this point for this first base drop. This is right now referencing a pack, which we're going to talk about, or a set called Making the Mark, which is all of these sort of influential goals, career highlights, these very rare highlights or important highlights that have been put into this epic tier. And then we have the 2 currently unused rarity tiers. We have Legendary, which there haven't been any released from this first sort of set of cards. They say the maximum edition size is 25 here. If they release something in this first sort of set or series of releases, I think it's likely that this goes down a bit, perhaps to even at 10. And Heroic, they don't even give a edition size because this could be reserved for the special sort of unique releases, maybe things that are given to people if they've collected a full set or or something like that. That's what it seems like they're going to lean into here on the heroic rarity. So those are all of the different rarity tiers and the maximum edition sizes of each highlight that are released in each of those tiers. Now, I mentioned a couple times during that section that, okay, the number of editions that can be released for each was cut in roughly half for all of those categories. It seems like the Sweets team is sort of leaving the option open that they might bring it back to that number for this first edition based on demand, but it seems like that's something that is still in the works. Just listen to this clip from a podcast that Matt and Travis from the Breakaway team recorded.
We cut most of the edition sizes that we initially announced by about 50%. There's like a couple, there's a couple that are a little bit more than 50%, but generally they're all cut by 50%.
Core, you cut down from 3,000 to 5,000, which was the original range, to 1,500. Limited, you cut from 1,000 to 500. Rare, 500 to 250. Epic, 200 to 100. And Legendary, 25 down to 10.
There potentially is the option for us to mint the additional 50% of the highlights as a second edition that will still feel separate from the original edition. So we'll preserve the limited nature of the beta run. So there's an option for us to do that, but we're not going to do it without talking to the community, and we're not going to do it without really thinking hard about, do we have enough content for the rest of Series 1, or do we really need it?
So it seems like as this initial drop period sort of exits the beta phase and enters the more mainstream market, depending on mainstream market uptake, it seems like Sweet might make that sort of audible call to release the remaining amounts on those maximum edition sizes that we went over on their website. And of course, that impacts the actual rarity of the cards, how many of them exist. That's the supply side versus the demand side. Impacting that's going to impact, okay, what is the actual value of these cards for people who might be interested in selling them on the secondary market. So I'm sure that any decision down this road of expanding edition sizes is something that they likely wouldn't take too lightly, and that collectors wouldn't take too lightly either, and would definitely need to be handled with care. And it makes sense from Sweet's side and from the NHL Breakaway program side. If there is all this demand and it's only happening on secondary market, well, maybe that doesn't look as good in the eyes of the NHL, the organization that Sweets is partnered with, and for the longevity of the program, showing the NHL, hey, this is a profitable business model, this is something that we can do ongoing in the future, is something that's only going to benefit all of the collectors as this gains more adoption. But now let's talk about all of the drops that have happened so far and what you can find inside of each of these 4 packs that have been released. The first ones that were released were the inaugural opening ice pack, as well as the inaugural founding fan base pack. That's the 5 highlight and 3 highlight releases. And then this most recent second beta drop that just came out was the Hunt for Stanley 2023 debut limited edition pack, as well as the core base expansion pack for the 3 highlight offering. But this actually isn't the best view to get an understanding of what was actually inside of these packs, how they were different. Instead, they've actually provided a pretty handy spreadsheet here that goes over all of the individual drops here you can see on the top. This spreadsheet goes over each of those 4 different packs you can get, and it lists every single highlight that you can get from these packs, as well as how many total will be minted ever, and how many you can expect to find in these specific packs that have just been released. And it's important to note that this is only talking about the August 25th drop. This isn't talking about the numbers for the previous drops that may have happened for these individual packs. Let me explain. For this August 25th drop, the Hunt for Stanley and the Base 22-23 expansion pack, these were the first ever drops of these packs. However, on the drop date for these new packs, they also released some extra versions or extra editions of these inaugural packs as well. So in this spreadsheet, these numbers refer to the odds and the numbers in these packs that are specifically being released on this day. There's also another spreadsheet that from July 27th, when their first ever drops happened, that you can check out. Again, all of this is going to be in the links in the description of this video. So you can see all of the players featured in this base common rarity tier. These are the base pack cards. You can see how many total minted there are ever going to be of this card. Again, with that caveat that we just talked about, and the amount that you can find in these packs specifically. If we scroll down, we can see the other rarities. Here's the rare rarity. That's the opening ice or the rookie highlight sort of area here. You can see, okay, 250 are ever going to be minted, and there are going to be 2 available in this release release of the inaugural Founding Fan base packs. Again, we can check this for the other ones, like the expansion pack here, and we can see, okay, for all of these base packs, there's going to be 24 available of the total amount of base 2022, 2023 expansion packs that are going to be released. Am I making sense here? If we scroll down yet again, we can see that epic quality, the Making the Mark highlight set. These are all of the rarest cards that have been released thus far. And down here, I'll move myself up, not that up, I'll move myself up. And you can see here all the numbers for these cards, 100 total minted and 20 available in the base 2022, 2023 expansion packs. That would be available as that extra third rare card that you have a chance of getting. Instead of just getting 3 common cards, you have a chance at getting that third card being a rare or an epic or even a limited card. And if we head over here to this limited edition pack tab, we can see the numbers for these limited edition cards. The Hunt for Stanley cards, you can see the players that are involved in them, how many are ever going to be minted and available potentially in future base packs as that random card, and how many are actually available in these packs that are being sold as a part of this drop. So you can take all this information into consideration when you're considering, okay, which packs should I buy? What is the cost comparison for this pack versus this pack relative to the rarity or the chance that I'm going to get a better than common card. Now let's talk about some of the extra things that collectors might be looking for on any given highlight that you may collect. The first thing that I want to talk about here, and we'll take a look at some of my collection here, is these badges that you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of each of these highlights. Each of these badges relate to a different special quality of that card or a different trait of that card, and they've put together a helpful list here that explains exactly what each of these badges are. We have the Breakaway debut, which means this is the first ever sort of printing for this player as part of the Breakaway platform. We have multi-highlights, which I think there's only one of right now, the Connor McDavid Epic. It is reserved for highlights that have multiple highlights sort of packed into one collectible. We have the series debut, which means that it's the first one printed in this series. So we have the different series of releases, right? It's not the first ever card printed or first ever highlight created of this player, but it might be the first one as a part of this sort of run of cards. Trophy year is put on the highlights of every single player that has received a trophy, like maybe the Art Ross or the Rocket Richard, these types of trophies that are awarded at the NHL awards at the end of the year. It's sort of printed on the cards for those players at the end of the year. We've got career milestone. This is breaking a team record or breaking a personal record or just an arbitrary round number record like Connor McDavid's 60th goal, these types of things. Same with record breaker, that sort of falls into the same sort of category as career milestone that I was talking about, and rookie status. This is on every single card of every single player for which it is their rookie season. And finally, we have seasonal milestone. I think that actually applies to more what I was saying before about a specific amount of goals or assists in a given season. And I think collectors might largely be looking for that sort of rookie badge. I think that that's going to be something that will be in trend here. And that isn't just reserved for that opening ice rare packs. There are also additional cards that are from other sets that will have this rookie badge as well. So even if it's not their first career goal as part of the opening ice set, you might want to look out for these rookie badges. The other thing that I think collectors will be interested in is a low serial number or a low edition number, right? Here you can see this Wyatt Johnston highlight that I have is number 320 of 500. It's looking like ones with lower edition numbers or serial numbers, like your 1s, 2s, your under 10s. That might give an additional sort of layer of rarity within these card sets of the rarity tiers, right? If I have number 1 of Connor McDavid's Epic, well, I think that might be at least a little bit more valuable in some collectors' eyes than number 85 of Connor McDavid's Epic highlight. Now, it's important to note that the marketplace that people can use in order to sort of trade these cards with each other or purchase cards from them isn't yet in effect. It hasn't been made, but the Sweet team has made it clear that this is something that is coming. And I think it's largely going to look like Top Shot's marketplace, if you're familiar with that digital collectible ecosystem. Top Shot right now has a 5% royalty. So if you were to sell your LeBron highlight for $100, you'd actually only receive $95 of that. with the additional $5 or 5% going to both the organization that operates Top Shot as well as the NBA itself and the other partner organizations. Very likely that that's something that's going to be incorporated into this NHL Breakaway marketplace. I did a little bit of digital sleuthing, and I believe that this percentage is going to be a 6% royalty instead of 5% for the Breakaway marketplace. Nothing confirmed or announced yet, but I found some details and some of the metadata of some of the packs, and it seems like it might be a 6% fee there, but important to note that this isn't something that's implemented as of yet during this beta phase. And like I've been saying, this is the beta phase, which means that not everybody can go and purchase these packs. You have to be accepted into the beta program, and you can do so and join the wait list by going to this website and filling out this form. I'll provide, again, the link in the description if you want to go and do so that by the next time there's a drop, the third ever drop, you can be ready to pick up some of these packs for yourself if you're interested in it. Now I want to talk a little bit about timing. Some people have said, okay, well, the NFT fad, the craze is over. What's the point of releasing something like this? Of digital collectibles. Some people are saying, okay, that's not something that's cool anymore. However, I think that the NHL Breakaway is launching in the exact right time. I think they're launching in a healthier time. And when we look at NBA Top Shots, that was launched during the height of the NFT craze, and in some senses kind of spurred it along and made that craze even larger, where people bought Top Shot packs without any actual interest in collecting the highlights or even any interest in the NBA or basketball. A lot of people bought these things with the sole focus of flipping them for a profit, and as a result, the resale market for these highlights absolutely skyrocketed. But when the craze subsided, well, these speculators left and mass sold their highlights, dropping prices and leaving a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. Now the fad and money first element of NFTs and digital collectibles is largely gone. That energy has gone away, and I think that the only people who are now interested in collecting these digital collectibles, they're actually interested in it for the sake of collecting them. I think it's only the people that are really into this that are still here, and I think it's healthier to launch without as much hype. You get a little bit more feedback as you slowly roll something out. Either way, I'm not going to change your mind about digital collectibles or timing. But if you're watching this video, and especially if you've made it this far, it's clear that you're probably interested in learning more. And if you are, subscribe to this channel, because I'm probably going to do reviews of different packs as they're released, talk about some of the marketplace details as they're released. So if you're following this and if you're an enthusiast like I am, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and check this out next time I post another video. But with all that said, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Really hope this video helped you out at least a little bit, and I'll see you next time.